Truth Network with your host, Sean Myrie. Recent news. And please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. But recent news, right? You could call this breaking news. JD Vance was getting an interview by Fox News, and they're talking about the immigration issue and how they have managed the immigration issue in America, saying they deported basically over 2 million and they still got work to do, and how he wants to ramp up. He wants to ramp up the ICE, right? He wants ICE to go door to door. Think of it, door to door to check on Americans. And if you're not American, the ICE is going to take you. He wants ICE to go online and search for people they believe are undocumented, people. So J.D. Vance, the Vice President of America, he is with it, right? So he's putting in a lot of work too. The second in command. So they said they already deported 2 million people. 2 million people they deported, majority of them coming from South America. So he's ramping up this whole ICE to go door to door. So when they knock, right, when you hear a knock, it might be ICE. And hopefully, if you are an American citizen, if you have a background they feel is not too American, you better make sure you have the paperwork because they're coming for you. So JD Vance recently, and this is like, more propaganda, more talking. He wants to rid America of anybody who's illegal, and then you could come back. But you got to come back the right way. They want to know who's coming in. They got the right to know who's coming in. But it's going to be really hard for a lot of people, especially from South America, to come into America right now. All right? They already deported 2 million. 2 million immigrants, or no, I shouldn't say immigrants, illegal people back to their countries. So what ICE is doing is they're going out there. Money's being more invested in ICE agents to go do their work, and they have them online too. So they got ICE agents online. So if you are illegal, right, and you are living in America, you better not be online. Like, right? You better have no type of social media accounts because ICE for sure is looking online. He mentioned it. He said, yo, they're going to go door to door and they're going to be checking too online who they believe is illegal, right? So that's what Vance wants. That's what Trump wants. So he's using social media to capture people. That's why they were good with Elon Musk. Filter out the system. They want you to come back legitly, legal, because that's why they call you illegal, right? So if you don't come into the country the legal way, they're going to take away anything what you have in America. You wonder why they let a lot of people go living in America for like 10, 15 years, if not 20 years. So imagine if you purchased a home, you have property, you have a vehicle. Guess what happens when they get you if you're not legitimately legal in America? They take all of that. So they're doing, you could call it gangster business, you could call it whatever, but they're going after a lot of people, a population that's out there. They already deported 2 million of them, right? So now it's online. It's not just it's not just going door to door. They're searching. So anybody who's smart, if you're smart and you are illegal, what they are putting out there, they're gonna be watching, right? It's the answer. Mass deportation is the answer. It could be. If you are, I'm sorry, I'm going to be straight up, and people don't like, it's not popular. If you are illegal, you didn't do it the right way, you didn't pay for a visa, you should get deported. Sorry, right? There's people who have to pay a lot of money and do a lot of things, a process to get into Canada or get into America or get into the UK. So if you haven't done it the right way, I don't feel, and you get deported, who feels sorry for you? You done, it's illegal, it's true. Well, how are you going to fight against that? You might not like Trump, you might not like Vance, but they're saying if you didn't do it the right way, you got to go, they're going to deport you and you got to come back the right way. Obviously, before Trump was in there and Vance, they were letting in thousands of people without really doing anything. They're allowing this. So you got to realize they were allowing this stuff to go on for a long time. So the only one who's really standing up to deport people is Mr. Donald Trump and Vance. And they don't give a shit about what people might say is the human rights and stuff. How did you get in there? How did you get to America? That's the question they want to know. How did you get there? If you don't have a visa, or if you had a visa and it ran out, why are you still there? It's not fair for the people who have to pay and do the process the right way to get in, right? So, yes, you could hate Trump, you could hate what Vance is saying, but it's facts, right? So, this is what he's doing. The ICE is going to go door to door. They're going to be knocking door to door, and they're going to ask you for your ID. And when they ask you for your ID, if you even try to what it's called again, fight against them or not cooperate, they're just gonna dig more. So what are you gonna do when the ICE comes for you? What are you gonna do when the ICE comes for you? So, because this is what's really going on. They have went after not just Hispanics, they have went after Haitians, they have went after Jamaicans, they have went after a lot of people, right? So we don't know what these people are doing. America's Constitution says they have the right due process. I mean, you could just amend your Constitution, remove that part, but that opens you up to due process for any law. Yeah, but like I'm saying, Vance could say that. It's true. You can't fight against what these guys are saying. If you didn't come into the country legally, you're not even a refugee. What are you doing there? What are you doing there? That's why they stereotypically or they target people coming from South America as doing illegal stuff, working for cartels, because they're wondering if there's so much of these illegal, if you want to say migrants or people in the country, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? They want to know, are you working and they're not collecting the tax? Like, what are you doing? So they have the right to send their organization, ICE, out and knock door to door, right? Constitution says anyone in the United States gets due process. Yeah, but they could change anything too. Laws do change, right? As Mr. Trump has changed certain things, especially when it has to deal with Obamacare, right? Am I a citizen? I'm not even American. I'm Canadian and I'm born in Canada. Right? I'm born right here, right next to America. I would not want to go to America now. I would not want to be in America now. First of all, if you're going to travel to America from Canada, they're going to look on your ID, they're going to look on your social media. This is how crazy it is. They want to know if you're against Trump. And if you're against Trump, you ain't getting in. That's how sensitive it is right now, right? Have some type of accent. I have some type of accent because I'm from Canada. There's like the accents in America. There's tons of accents you can't even understand. Like I guarantee. Where are you from? Right? America has a lot of different accents. I'm generally asking. Oh, I'm from Canada, man. My parents' background from Jamaica, straight from Jamaica. My parents, but I'm born here, right? I'm born here from the NY, right? So meanwhile, people think we have the accents. I've been hearing, and then I had a couple American friends. You guys, if you're from America, you guys have the accent. been you've been to Montreal. Montreal's a different place. See, even Canada up here, we have our dirt too, man. We got our dirt. These guys been letting in immigrants like we have immigrants, but refugees and just letting in people just too easy. Like recently, there's a news story I'm hearing. They're giving out visas for basically for free to all these other countries. They're giving them the visa, giving these people the visa. But you know why they give them the visa easy? These certain countries, it's for the economics. It's for money. All of it is money because certain countries they're not going to let them come in that easy, but they're giving away to Philippines, Uruguay. The list goes on. I can't even name them all. So good for America what they're doing, right? Because Canada, we too nice. We like to give away everything and help everybody, right? Populated. Yeah, it needs to be populated, but the way how they, I guess that's why they're doing this craziness, giving away visas, right? There's over 40 million Canadians. How much more do we need? Okay, just say you want to add 20 more million people, right? Now boost it up to 60. I think we're pretty good right now. We're pretty healthy right now. But yeah, they need a population because a lot of the so-called generational Canadians, they ain't populating the country, right? 350 million Americans. Yes, 350, but they're saying a big population of that, right? And I'm not saying all the population, but there's a big chunk that are illegal. I swear they said I swear there was a number they said, and no joke. I swear they said there's over like 40 million, 40 million illegals, illegal, they believe 40 million illegal immigrants in America. So out of the 300 million, there's at least 40 of them. But they ain't going to get all those people. Canada can have 200 million people and live comfortably. Yeah, Canada could because one province could hold a lot of America in it. Ontario itself is a big chunk of America, right? One province is a whole bunch of states. You could fit a whole bunch of states in there. So yeah, one province could hold millions. It's like bigger than European countries what have 50 million people in it already. So one province could hold almost 100 million people, right? And that's just one province. It's, yeah, a lot of people don't watch the news as much ever since Trump put out the fake news. Remember, he put that out there. A lot of people ain't gonna give him that credit. He's promoting the fake news because it's a reverse psychology. If you want to know what I mean by reverse psychology, by saying fake news, that means whatever you see on the so-called real news, people won't believe it anymore. They lost their credibility, so no one's gonna really believe that. But people believe more stuff on social media that could be fake, right? But it seems like it's real, more realer than the news, right? Numbers deporting are very low. He said, VANCE said 2 million people they have deported. 2 million people they deported. There's a lot more they got to do. That's why he's saying we're sending the ICE out. door to door. So the ICE have got a lot of money. They put a lot of money into the ICE to go door to door and are always working to find people. Right? ICE did not go in American farmland and slaughterhouses. That's true. Check the numbers online. Yep, that's true. They didn't, but he wants to go door to door. So what they're gonna start to do is what is called profile certain cities. Like they're gonna go to probably, let's see, New York for sure. New York for sure. They're gonna be knocking. Like California, anywhere in California, they're going there for sure. The South, they won't go to as much because stereotypically they're thinking there's not too much illegals in those places. If you are illegal, or what they quote unquote call it illegal, you better leave New York, you better leave California, you better go to a small town. You better go to a small town so they don't know where you are. But they're gonna go to all the big, what you say, quote unquote cities, and they're gonna do a roundup. Right now, Minnesota, with this whole lot, I'm hearing this politics with this daycare scam. Guaranteed they're gonna do a roundup. They're gonna do a roundup down there because Minnesota has the biggest Somali population. I think in America more than even in Canada. I mean, like as a city, has the biggest refugee settlement population, Minnesota. So are they gonna start? Is ICE gonna go there? Is ICE gonna start going there and seeing if, which you can't really go there because they're refugees. See, they got you, right? What am I wrong with? Tell me what I'm wrong with. They're not gonna go to no small town. They will go to the small towns, but first they're gonna go to the major markets, the big cities, which is easy, and ask you, are you legal? Are you legal to work, live in America? And if you have are not, then you're gone. They probably have a center set up in New York, something in California, something in other major cities like Chicago and stuff to round up people, right? So when they round up these people, they could filter out the system. And like Vance is saying, the vice president, then you could come back and apply legally as what it through visa or whatever, the whole system. So this is part of Make America Great Again. This is part of Make America Great Again. When they're saying Make America Great Again, is to do what they're doing, filter out the system, and um, be strong, meaning doing whatever they want. You see what's going on right now. So 2 million is just the tip of the iceberg, as you may say. People may say 2 million is just a little bit. They want to deport. If they could deport, they'll deport everybody who's undocumented and stuff like that. Like I said, there's millions of millions of millions of undocumented people in America. What, 2 million? That's what Vance just said recently. Recent news. Vance said that, yeah, they deported over 2 million people and they want to continue with it. They want to ramp it up. They want to do more. They want to get rid of like millions more because they already deported 2 million. Most of the 2 million comes from South America. Most of the people they deported is from South America. Other places too, but guaranteed that that's what they're gonna do. Like they're going after the Haitians. I heard they're going after a lot of Haitians. I think there's a good big population of Haitians in certain places in America, mostly Florida. So they were saying they're trying to go after a lot of them, and a lot of them are illegally in America, right? That 1.6 kind of BS is this? 1.6. That's what Vance just said. It's coming from his mouth. That's breaking news. He was on Fox this morning talking, right, getting interviewed, and he's saying that we got rid of 2 million, and we need to ramp it up with ICE, going door to door and online. So they're gonna use online practices to get illegals. How they're gonna do that? It makes me wonder. I don't know how they're gonna do that. Go online to find people who are illegal. There's like I don't know how they're gonna do that, but it's a good tactic. You get what I mean? Technology. They want to use technology to find people and distractions from the files. Yeah, all of this is distractions from the dirt. What Trump has, or what's out there, the Epstein files, which keeps going, keeps disappearing. When people keep asking about it, nothing. No one wants to go that deep to expose it like all these other stuff, right? Why? No Epstein files. Because Trump's friends probably are involved, and maybe they paid him off a long time ago, right? So if it wasn't Trump in charge and it was somebody else, they would probably expose it. Why we're not going to see no release of Epstein files until Trump and Vance is gone, or the Republicans are gone. But right now they have a campaign where they're probably not just going to be going door to door, meaning they're going to go to a lot of work employment places. They're going to go to a lot of places where people are working, and they're going to filter out those companies too, and see and look if they're hiring undocumented whatever people. So they're putting pressure on companies also. So if you're a company and you might have these individuals working at your establishment, whatever, they might charge you, right? The official numbers online say 600K, but that's, he's saying 2 million. It's BS. Yeah, it could be BS coming from them. Wouldn't be surprised. He has to put up those numbers to make themselves look good, right? I'm gonna start by the farmland. Yeah, the farmers. Of course, you're right. You're right, because a lot of the people who are undocumented, they're farmers. They're doing the farming. He could start at a lot of the mansions too in Hollywood, right, where they have a lot of people from Mexico doing work for them. All right, a lot of these wealthy people have probably some undocumented people. They can go to the factories and warehouses like they did in a handful. That's what they're probably gonna do. For sure, for sure they're gonna be doing that. For sure they're gonna go to all the factories. 100% they're going to the factories. Yes, ICE hit one slaughterhouse in Nebraska months ago. I believe so. Yes, they're gonna go to all the factories, all the places that are making money, and you call that cheap labor, right? So they're going to go to all those places, and when they filter that out, it's going to hurt those companies because you need workers. Well, they said hire Americans. That's what Trump is saying, that you need to, they're taking jobs away from Americans. Do the Americans want to do those jobs? That's the question, right? Do the Americans want to do those jobs? That's what I want to know. So when you take away all these people, yes, ICE will come sweeping a lot of these illegals up, and just say by the time Trump is finished, just say they got rid of 10 million of them, right? Just say Trump gets rid of 10 million workers, right? How's those companies now? How are they going to do? How's a lot of those companies? It's no different than how people in Canada are fighting against a lot of immigrants. A lot of people in Canada are in an uproar. We're following America. We're in an uproar, and a lot of the immigrants who are coming are students. So now, if you cut that off, which they have, that's going to hurt the institution, the educational institution that Canadians are working for. So by stopping some of these immigrants now in Canada, for example, a lot of them are students. That will cut jobs. That'll hurt a lot of people who are working, right? So in America, it's a more different. The immigrants who come there are coming there to do labor work. That's the difference. How many planes is that? Planes is that? 1.9 million self-deported. That's a good amount. How much planes? That's a lot of money. That's a lot of gas. That's a lot of money and a lot of gas. See, this is the difference now. I'm going to show you. In America, I'm not saying everybody, but in America, there's a lot of people who are there to mainly work, right? Make money, even if it's illegal. They're there to make money, right? In Canada, they come here to go to school. Majority of the immigrants come to Canada to go to school. There's refugees, but the majority of the immigrants are coming here as students, even if they're doing some bullshit. But a lot of them are coming here as students, and that's why they charge them double. A lot of the times they charge them more than the Canadians to go to school here. So the government is gangster even in Canada, right? So if you stop a lot of them from coming here, for example, it hurts the educational institutions. Illegals have not decreased at all. It hasn't decreased. Well, they're putting on a campaign right now. They're putting on a campaign how much people they have deported over time through Trump's administration. And that's why they have this campaign going on right now about the shit they're doing in the world, right? So American agents are looking. They have a job. They've been getting investments to do their job, and like I'm saying, they're going door to door, meaning not just your house. They're going to be going to a lot of big companies, right? Corporations, and they're going to be filtering out all those places. Good morning, much respect. Yeah, they're going to be filtering out a lot of places because they want to make America great again. They want Americans to get those jobs, right? That's what they claim. That's what they claim, right? So America with Vance, that guy, I don't know if you want him to be the president next. He'll be worse than Trump. He'll be worse than Trump. What are you saying? Not true? So a lot of people are saying it's not true. They didn't deport. They did not deport 2 million. Well, I'm not gonna take his word for it because he does look like he's a liar, Vance, right? So, but that's what he's claiming. They deported 2 million illegals. It's part of their propaganda. They gotta say that for the people who support them. So even if it's not true, they know that the people who support them is gullible and they will listen to anything what they say and they're not gonna listen to the other side, right? Talking about the premise of making America great again. Oh, making America great again. That's just a saying, what they're saying for an excuse to do all what they're doing now, right? To make America great again is to get rid of people who are not really American. To make America great again is to not listen to any other country in regards to international laws. They make their own laws, right? To make America great again is to have freedom of speech, right? But only if the freedom of speech suits the government. So it's not really freedom if it's against Trump. Trust me, it's not really freedom. And like I spoke recently, you can't really say nothing, or people are scared to talk against Trump and Vance, right? Vance is what got the ICE watching online. Whoever is not legal in America, but you'll be dumb to be online on any social if you're not legally supposed to be in America. They're looking at the names. Let's be straight up stereotypically. They're going to look at the last name, especially if you have a Spanish last name, even if you're born in America. They have deported people who are born Americans to South America, right? Let me say it again. They have deported people who are born Americans to South America, made mistakes. So they're just looking at the names. If the name doesn't fit for them, you are a target. Anybody who doesn't fit the so called stereotypical English or American names, they're going after you. If you don't have history, generational, they're going after you. They don't give a damn. They don't give a damn. Now you got 3 more years. They got 3 more years of filtering out the system. And that's what they're gonna do. 3 more years of terror going in people's houses, going in where people work and taking people away. You might not even see your family. So if they go to a job where there's someone who they say is illegal and you've been here for 30 years or so, and you have a house and everything, they're just gonna take you. You're not gonna see your family. They're gonna think that you got something, you died or someone killed you. Will flop on Trump 2028. Just don't start crying. 2028. You know what? This was bound to happen. I told people from a long time ago, from the beginning, even before, this guy's going to be the president. He's going to be the president, right? It's unpopular to like Trump. It's not popular to like Trump. But there's people who support Trump, right? It's not that popular to support the man. But, and Vance, the man behind him, he got an active vice president. Vance is very active, right? Very active. Silent majority. There's a big silent majority because I don't see all these celebrities or other big figures talking against Trump. You don't see no protests. Where's all these protests? Where's all the big protests, like I'm saying, against this man, what he's doing? I think, you know what? I'm starting to think straight up. A lot of Americans, it could be black, it could be white, they want this. I think they don't mind, like the generational Americans. They don't mind for what Trump is doing. I think they're okay with it. They're with it, actually, right? I think they're actually with it. A lot of people are with it. The people you don't think are with it, they're really with it. And there's a lot of black people in America probably want a lot of these undocumented people gone. Because if you know about Los Angeles, there's been big separation within those communities for years. For years and years, there's been separations. Certain neighborhoods been taken over by a lot of people from that background, from South America. There's a lot of neighborhoods that have been taken over by Mexicans and stuff like that, where black people were, right? So there's a lot of racial tension in California or LA between Black Americans and Spanish South Americans. There's that big thing going on. So they're not really getting no support. I don't see no protest, really. Facts. No protest. What's going on? People, they support Vance. They support Trump silently, like you said. Yeah, because people aren't scared no more by your people. I don't know who you say my people. I'm not from down there. Not from down there, buddy. They could be black, but not necessarily with the same mindset as me, right? It's completely different. Trust me. What's going on down there is some big what's called racial war in California, and the blacks from California are LA. They're generational Americans, so they ain't getting deported nowhere. They ain't going anywhere. But the many people who are from the South American background, and there is generational South American people. There's many what are not. So those ones are their livelihood is threatened, right, by the American government. And in the American government, there is a lot of African Americans, and they do agree with those white Americans 100% to deport a lot of them. So you got a whole bunch of people in support of Trump, but they have a new strategy is to be silent. New strategy is to be silent. No one is going out protesting really for them, right? People were getting kind of mad when the ICE first came, well, when they came out and they're doing the mass deportation. You had some little protest, but they killed that died down, right? It was on social media. If people were talking on social media about anything, they deported. They looked them up, and if they were not really legal, they got deported, right? One of the guys who fought Jake Paul, he got deported after the fight. He got deported. There's people who've been deported who are. There was a famous, I think, Twitch streamer who got deported too, back to Africa. So this is no joke. This is definitely no joke. What's going on is the continuation of what Trump wanted to do a long time ago. He's just continuing it. That's it. That's all he's doing is just continuing what he wanted to do from the first term. This is his second term. He's continuing what he wants to do. Who's going to stop him? Who's stopping him? This impeach stuff, they tried to impeach things and nothing happened. They tried to do the 30 something charges. Where's the charges? Nothing happened. Vance, now he got this vice president who is very outspoken. Vance is very outspoken. And this morning, what's reported is he's saying 2 million people have been deported and they want more. And ICE will be going out door to door to knock, and they'll be online working to find you if you are illegal. And he wants people, if you want to come back, you got to come back the right way. You got to come back the right way, right? Can't be coming in the wrong way. Do you agree or disagree? I think I agree. Come in the countries the right way, because you don't know who's coming in. It could be any Tom, Dick, and Harry. It could be a killer, murderer, person who assaults people a lot, scammers, all types of people been coming to America, right? So set up the system, face recognition. Um, they're gonna ID you through fingerprint, whatever. A lot of these people ain't ID'd. So when they deport them, they get all of this info. So when they come back, they're easier to trace. Yeah, easier to trace. But if you're a corporation that is hiring these people, good luck to you. That's why a lot of them are working on farms, right, to do the work for the farmers. And that's definitely places they will be targeted. Yeah. So if you're a person who owns a farm, you don't want right now to play with the American government. If you're an American farmer, do not play with the American government. It might cost you more money to do your farming because you can't get cheap laborers. But he wants you guys to hire Americans. They want you guys to hire Americans because it's part of Make America Great Again. Make America great again, make Americans happy, and that's what is the mission for that administration, right? People should take an example from America, other countries that's letting in anybody, anyone, Tom, Dick, and Harry. Canada, like I'm saying recently, saying we're giving out free visas to everybody. It seems like that. That's what Canada's doing, giving out free shit to people, giving out stuff. Now everybody's gonna rush here. Yeah, we need a population, but now everybody's gonna come. Yo, go to Canada. So all you undocumented immigrants are gonna make your way back here. You have to. You have no choice. You're gonna have to make your way back to Canada. It's easy now. You get what I mean? Very easy. America's not gonna let you in. Those days are finished. Those days are done. Right? As long as you have this administration, you got this president, vice president, they don't want they want to know everybody. They want to know everything. They're really putting in work. They're not just sitting down, even if you don't like what they're doing, they're really active, right? Really active. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they're really active. So what's next for them to do is to put more money into ICE. That's what's next. Put more money into ICE. More money into ICE agents. And they're gonna get big online. So they're probably going through Twitter, who has looking at people's profiles more than ever. They're going on the TikTok, the YouTube. They're going on every single platform to filter out people. It's easier, they feel, but the smart person who is illegal won't be on social media, right? If you're illegal and you know that, you will not be in social media because that makes it more easier for them to track you down, right? Oh, Quinn just now, pieces. Yeah, that's all I gotta say is watch out for the ICE because they ain't nice. Watch out for the ICE because they're coming to your city, they're coming to your town, and even the people who are legal. Even if you're legal, man, this is a way to get you if you have any charges or any dirt or warrants. So this is a way to even lock people up like that. So you could be American all you want. This is not good for even other people. You could be American all you want. When they ask you for your ID and they look you up, even if you are not a legal whatever immigrant. Oh, I'm American. I'm American. You say, yeah, man, I'm American. I'll show you this. But then if you have any dirt that you have a warrant for your arrest or some shit like that, or you owe child support, guess what? They're gonna know now. So they're going after the money. If you have some type of bond what's not paid off or something, right? Because there's all this politics in America, they're gonna know now. Think of it. When they go knocking at the door, it doesn't have to be just people who are undocumented, whatever people. It could be something they found, right? They could find that you have charges, outstanding charges, Yeah, that's what they'll do. And maybe they might find that you owe the IRS some money. Yeah. So meanwhile, they're saying ICE is just going out to get undocumented people to deport. They're going after every American. Also, everybody who lives in America is going to be a target, no matter what. And that's the real deal. It's an excuse. Two, it's a perfect excuse, like Vance was saying, they're going to ramp it up. It's a perfect excuse to, right, know your business. It's a perfect excuse to do whatever they want. You can't hide anything from them. And they're using social media and they're going to knock your door physically. Think of it. Yeah. So that's what's going on. Get ready for it. They're already doing it. ICE is out there and they're coming for anybody who has a shady background, not just undocumented immigrants. They're coming for all of you, Vance and Trump, right? All of you. You heard about the digital ID? That's part of it. What do you think they're talking about digital ID? Do you know what that is? By them doing that, they could filter out the system. And by them, I don't know if they were going to do it a universal income. That's another way of them doing that too. So good luck to all of you. People, please like, subscribe, comment. I'm out.